Today, we're going to be talking about how you can create a new future by letting go of your past. I know, it sounds paradoxical, but you'll see in a moment why this makes sense. This video is meant for anyone who is looking to make a drastic identity shift in their lives. Maybe you're looking to switch your career, or you've just been through a breakup and you want to find new love, or you want to change your lifestyle completely and your habits, your everyday habits and all that kind of stuff. This video is for you. Firstly, I just want to say real change is extremely difficult, and most people, guess what? They don't make that change. If you just talk to your friends from high school, most of them are doing the same thing they did back in high school. Most people just stay the same way. Most people can't get rid of bad habits. They are stuck. So I just want to commend you for watching this video. If you truly want to make a change, we're going to dive very deeply here into why you first need to let go of the past if you want to create a new future, a new reality, new possibilities, etc. And as always, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you do so. Hit the button below, like this video, share it with your friends, all that kind of stuff. Most people tend to hold on to things for way too long, unable to let go. It's quite a human thing to get attached to people, places, things, etc. So I'm not saying it's easy to just let go on a whim. We're going to explore some of the ways you can let go. But first, we need to also discuss why you need to let things go before you can manifest something new. The reason is because the universe, the source, whatever you want to call it, works in mysterious ways. And you attract the frequency that you emit. Another way of saying it, your level of awareness determines what you're going to attract into your life. So if you are stuck in that old story, in that old job, in that old relationship, in that old city, you're not going to be able to attract that new thing unless you first let go of those existing things. And I don't mean to let go intellectually. I'm talking about you need to let go mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. In all those ways, you're going to have to really let go in order to create something new. Let's do some examples because it'll make it more concrete. So let's say you're working at a job for 60 hours a week, but you hate your job. You don't like your boss. You're not inspired by the work. Maybe you don't even get along with your coworkers, but you're still doing that job for 60 hours a week. Do you think you have any chance of getting out of the situation and finding a new job if you keep working there for 60 hours, hating your life? First, you need to let that job go or decrease the hours so that you make room for your mind, for your emotions, and so that you can also physically have room to look for a new job, to attract a new job opportunity. I'm not saying you need to quit cold turkey and be impractical. Maybe reduce your hours. Maybe find another work that is part-time that you like a little bit more, but it gives you that extra time to look for your dream job. But if you're stuck in that old job, really not enjoying yourself, not liking what you do, then that's the frequency that you're living in. And that's the frequency you're emitting. You will not be able to attract something great if you're feeling shitty every day. You first need to feel good in order to attract something good. If you do have some savings you can live on for a while, then I would recommend for you to quit your job. And that way, you'll have all that time and energy to focus on finding that new career opportunity, a new job, the thing that you really want to do, maybe finding your purpose. Maybe instead of a job, you'll want to open up your business. But the point is that you first need to let go of this job to make room for whatever it is that you really want to do. Let's do another example. If you want to find a new girlfriend or boyfriend or an inspired connection, whatever you want, whatever you're looking for romantically, you first need to let go of your ex. So many people have one foot stuck in the past with their ex, still keeping in touch with their ex, still talking to them, still texting, maybe hanging out with him or her. And so when they meet someone new who could be a potential interest, they screw it up because they're not able to give themselves 100% emotionally to that new person, because emotionally and mentally, they're still rehashing things with their ex. So if you truly want to find a new person in your life to build a new relationship with, you're going to need to completely cut ties with your ex. At least you should not be hanging out with them or talking to them on a regular basis when you are starting to date new people. Oftentimes, people deceive themselves. They say something, oh, it's not like that. We're just friends. We're amicable, all that kind of stuff. Look, you can stay amicable, but you don't have to be friends and hanging out all the time, especially if you have feelings for each other. How do you think that's going to help the new relationship that you're going to be entering? You need to enter a new relationship from a place of wholeness. So actually what you should be doing is you should let your ex go, not talk to them for a long time, and just heal. Maybe do some therapy, maybe do some self-inquiry, some reflection, so that you become whole and healed for that new person. So when you meet that new person, you're not going to project all your past baggage onto that new person. You want to meet them from a place of curiosity and just seeing them for who they are. But most people are still stuck on what's going on with their ex, that they're not able to even see the new person that's in front of them and who they are and what they could together become, because again, they're stuck in the past. I could talk about other examples, but I think you get the point. In order to create a new future, you need to let go of the past. A big mindset shift you need to develop is just because something worked for a while doesn't mean it's going to work forever. And just because something comes to an end doesn't mean it was a failure. A marriage could have lasted for 10 years. Maybe the couple raised kids together. But then, 10 years later, the partners no longer feel aligned. And, should they force staying together? Not necessarily. Maybe they just need to let each other go and find someone new who is better suited for the next chapter of their lives. Same thing with, for example, a brick and mortar business. There were tons of bookstores open, and then Amazon disrupted the online space and started selling books, and a lot of these brick and mortar stores went out of business. So if you were one of those brick and mortar bookstore owners and you ran one of those bookstores for 20 years before it shut down, that was still a success. That was awesome. You did the best that you could. But then you were disrupted by the online industry, and now you had to let that brick and mortar bookstore go. But that is okay. And from there, you could actually adapt and evolve and maybe go online, or maybe let that business die completely and start something new. Some things are just meant to last for a season. Maybe you were friends with someone for a couple years and then you realized, we're no longer aligned. No problem. Just make it amicable, shake on it. Just start exposing yourself to new people and find the friends that inspire you into that next chapter of your life. There's nothing wrong with that. This is very much in line with the philosophy of Taoism, which is all about letting things fall apart when they need to without forcing it to continue and really flowing with life. Let me read you a quick passage from chapter 74 from the Tao Te Ching, which is a Taoist text. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. If you aren't afraid of dying, there is nothing you can't achieve. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's place. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are that you'll cut yourself. I want to share with you 2 examples from my own personal life where I let things go in order to create something new. The first one is I used to teach ballroom and Latin dancing in a dance studio. I owned a dance studio for about 7 years, and that's what I did day in and day out. That was my whole life, is teaching people how to dance in person. At the same time, I started doing my online website teaching people how to dance. And I started a YouTube channel and a membership site as well, part-time, kind of working on it whenever I had time. And eventually, at some point, the online business started doing better and better. And the physical studio was doing okay, but the online business kept growing and growing. And I felt like, I really want to focus more on that. And at some point, I decided to, the hell with it. Let me quit teaching in person and just focus on my online business. And I'm still doing that today. And by letting go of teaching in person, I have more time right now to dedicate to my online business. I actually have 2 online businesses now. So all my energy, time, and focus is going to work on those online businesses, because now I'm no longer trying to market my physical products. I no longer have to be in the studio physically working with people where they pay me per hour. So I'm trading my time for money, which again, nothing wrong with that, but that's what I did for a long time. And this is a different form of income where, I'm still shooting videos. I'm still working in that sense, but I'm not trading time for money anymore. It's just a different type of work. And I'm only able to succeed and take my online companies to new heights because I have that room mentally, physically, emotionally to work on it day in and day out. Just think about in your life, if you were to let go of something, how much more time and energy you'd be able to dedicate to the things you actually want to dedicate it to. I'm going to give you another example from my personal life of something that I had to let go to make room for something that is even better. So one of the dance styles that I currently do is called popping dance. Okay, it's when you contract the muscles and you do some waves. You can look it up if you don't know what it is, but it's a new thing that I'm into, that I practice. And when I started doing popping dance, it was kind of new for me. So I was looking for teachers. So I started taking lessons from a few people, and there were 2 teachers that I was taking with. The first one I started with, I was taking lessons with him. He was my first teacher ever. I took some lessons with him, and then over text somehow, as I'm trying to schedule more lessons, the guy wasn't getting back to me about doing the lessons. He wasn't getting back to me promptly. And I was a bit frustrated. I was like, I finally found this popping teacher, and he's not replying to me fast enough. And, I really want to improve, all that kind of stuff. But then at some point, a thought occurred to me, maybe he's not the right teacher for me. Maybe I could find someone who is better for me. And I let him go. And then for a few months, I didn't have a teacher. I still practiced on my own and all that kind of stuff. And eventually, guess what? I found another teacher who was even better than that old one. And this one was scheduling with him was much easier. He's actually a better dancer, in my opinion. And I was very happy working with him. But then also with him, he stopped replying to my text messages when I'm trying to schedule lessons with him. And I started looking for my next teacher because I was like, hey, I can't force this guy to teach me. He enjoyed working with me, by the way. He told me I was one of his favorite students, so I don't think it's anything that I did to make him not want to work with me. I learned a lot from him too, but at some point it was no longer aligned. He had a baby with his family. Maybe he became a bit too busy. I don't know. He didn't communicate it to me the way I would have liked it, for sure. But we're on good terms and all that kind of stuff. He likes my Instagram posts when I post my practices, stuff like that. Cool. But guess what? I found an even better teacher right now who is probably one of the best dancers that I've ever worked with. And he is very enthusiastic and he is passionate about teaching. And I'm hoping it's going to continue. But the only way I would have found this new teacher who is probably the right teacher for me, at least for the next little while, is by letting go of those teachers that just weren't the right fit for me. So I could have forced it. I could have kept begging and texting and trying to make it work with this person. But for what? When it didn't work, I just like, okay. I spent a few months practicing by myself, looking for a new teacher. It did take me some time to find that new teacher, but once I did, now I'm even happier that in a way it didn't work out with those other teachers, because now I have an even better teacher who can take me to a completely different level that I didn't even know existed. So the moral of the story is, when things don't work out, you don't have to force it and think that I have to make this thing work. This is the only thing that's gonna work in my life. This is the only job. This is the only guy or girl for me. You're gonna have to be able to be flexible, and kind of like Taoism, what I read to you, you're gonna have to not control everything, let things go, in order to find that new thing that is going to be even better. Let's move forward and talk about some of the practical things you need to do to let go of the things that you are attached to in order to make room for new stuff. The first thing is, you need to remove yourself from the environment physically. So that means that, if you want to let this career path go, you're not going to go to work physically. If you are no longer going to be talking to your ex, that means you don't text them, you don't meet up with them. Okay, you let go. You physically don't go to the places where your ex goes, as much as possible, or reduce the amount that you see and expose yourself to that person that you used to date. If you were eating Burger King every single night, that means you stop going to the Burger King, okay? So that you can make room for healthy foods. Our physical environment influences us in a huge way. Who we surround ourselves with and what we surround ourselves with influences us tremendously. So that's the first step, is you need to remove yourself physically from that environment, that old environment, to make room for the new environment. Another example is, I stopped going to my dance studio to teach every day in person in order to work on my online businesses. And I started working more from home and working from coffee shops on my online business. By the way, I am not saying that physically you can never go and see your boss again, or maybe if you saw your ex-girlfriend or boyfriend somewhere in the future, that's fine, but you need to give it a break. I would say you need to let all the emotional charge from those places and stuff like that to dissipate first, to make room for that new thing you're looking for. And then, maybe you can, still be on friendly terms with your boss, for example, and all that kind of stuff. I just mean that in any situation, when you're letting it first go, you're gonna need some time off to completely disidentify from that past to create that future. But here's the thing, changing the environment is only the first step, and it's only one thing in this whole puzzle, because the whole thing is mental and emotional, it's psychological. That means that even if you remove yourself physically from a certain environment, you might still be rehashing things in your head about whatever happened. We all know how that can be with a person you broke up with. You can still 4 months later have arguments in your head with that person, even though physically you're no longer seeing them and you're not with them anymore. That's why there's a saying, wherever you go, there you are. And that means that, let's say you even move to a different country, or you go on a trip, on a vacation, hoping to forget, whatever happened to you. You might be on that vacation physically, but mentally you could still be stuck in the past. So that's why the environment, removing yourself from the environment, is still very important, okay? But it's not enough. You also need to work on the mental and emotional side just as much. One of the best practices to do is just becoming aware whenever you have thoughts going on about your past, and just becoming aware that they're happening can help. It doesn't mean that you're always going to stop them, but if you're mad at your boss and how it was at work, and you're still like rehashing things in your head, just start noticing that that dialogue is going on, that's already going to give you some awareness, some space from that situation. And hopefully now you're no longer physically there interacting with those people. So over time, all of those emotions and all those story in your head is going to become lessened over time. Other than that, there's many other practices you can do, like meditation, journaling, self-reflection. One of the best things that you can do to work on your emotional state is do what is called the letting go technique. You can look it up. There's a book written about it as well, but I can explain it real quickly here. It's all about sitting down on your own and feeling your emotions, your physical body, and the sensations that come up. So we all know that all this mental clutter can also get stuck in our body, in our emotional body. So the key here is you need to feel all of it, feel all those feelings instead of, thinking about it and talking about it in your head, having that dialogue in your head. Instead, don't think about it as much. Instead, just feel all that emotions, all that anxiety that's stuck in your body. So you're paying attention to the sensations that come up and just breathe through it. So you're kind of relaxing and breathing through those sensations. And that's one of the ways to release past emotions. That is one of the ways to release past trauma. And let's face it, a lot of those things that don't work out in our lives that we want to change, some of them were somewhat traumatic, or you can think of it like mini traumas that we all experience all the time. So that's why you want to work with your body and release all that stuck energy, release those emotions so that you become a freer person, the best version of yourself for that next thing that you want. You want to be the best version of yourself when you're meeting that new boss for that new position, when you're meeting that new lover, when you're meeting that new friend, when you're starting that new hobby. You want to be at your best instead of coming to it from a place of past trauma. So that's why you want to release all that, and letting go technique is one of the tools that you can use. Once you've processed all those emotions, you're going to start feeling better every day and happier, and that's where you want to be in order to attract something new. I always say you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are being. So be the thing you want to attract. Finally, I want to talk about how letting go of the past allows you to step into the unknown. The unknown is a scary place because you've just left that job or that lover and you don't know, what's next. Maybe one of your goals was to move to a different country, to a different place, and all of a sudden everything is new. You don't have any friends, you don't know what you want to do yet, blah, blah, blah. And it's a very scary place for most people to be in the unknown. But that is the place where you can create something new from. Think about it. If you're constantly talking to the same people, going to the same places, doing the same things, how are you going to create something new from that? You won't be able to. In order to create something new, you're going to have to step into that uncomfortable place, which is the unknown. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this. He says the past is the known. So that means the future is the unknown. If you want to create a new future, you need to step into that unknown. And guess what? You're going to be uncomfortable for a while being in that unknown because it's unknown, obviously, right? So you're going to have to embrace that change and to deal with that discomfort for a while. And then over time, you'll start noticing new people, new frequencies, new opportunities come to your life. And when you see something that is somewhat compatible, that's aligned with who you are in that moment, go ahead and explore that. That's how you're going to create that new life for yourself. Part of creating a new future is trial and error. You're going to have to explore different things to really find what feels true for you. Again, coming back to what I said in the very beginning, creating real change is difficult. And that's why most people, as soon as they let go of their ex or the new job and they don't have that new thing lined up, over time, they kind of go back to that job or their ex. They're unable to endure the discomfort, the insecurity, the unknown. But remember, that's the only place you can create something new from. So I want you to be brave through that period. Find some good friends to lean on through that period. Find some good hobbies, and you will prevail. But this takes constant awareness, day by day, hour by hour, to be able to really change your life in a new drastic direction. And that's it for today. I hope this made sense. I hope this helped you in some way. I would love to hear some examples from your own life about this. How have you made real change in your life? Leave a comment below, or leave any comment or feedback you want. I would love to hear from you guys. And like and subscribe to this channel. And I'll see you guys on the next episode.